Anaewa, 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 Good afternoon. Just a minute. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Afonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Here is 12:16 Eastern Standard Time, right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We say welcome, taking you to Greater Liberia this afternoon. I wish I knew. Maybe I'm going to call the ANC guy, Amos George of the Liberia Public Radio, to give us the precise interpretations of that song, but it's part of our obligation to keep the culture and the beauty of Liberia world and alive, despite of the political device. And the divided country we have, we say good afternoon. If you are in Liberia, you're right here in the USA. Mr. Davis, a long time. How are you? Taruf came out. Good afternoon. Thank you. Mr. Wilson, good to have you here. And of course, wow, the MD himself is here today. My goodness. Good afternoon. Night Cry Poor. Anna Salat, Amos Sanot, and of course, I believe, Secretary of the SKTV. I'm quite sure they are embrace Philly for what appears to be another big political event thousands of miles away from the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Politics has been extended cross-country, across the continent as well. We say good evening and welcome. This is your program, the Liberian World Today. We're going to be looking at a wide range of issues in Liberia. This edition shall be aired on our sister network, but there are some other little technical difficulties. We are still working our modality, and hopefully in subsequent broadcasts, it will be okay. But notwithstanding, we've got to keep the ball rolling. That's what we intend to do, and that we will be doing. In the meantime, let's keep our commitment with some of our sponsors, those that are helping us to do what we are doing. Remember, Newcastle, Delaware will also be a scene of action, and that is the Tigers of BWI Alumni Association will be hosting their 40th annual traditional conventions in Newcastle, Delaware, next to Joe Biden. I'm not sure whether he's going to be there. That I can't say. But we are hearing the cities has already been thousands schools of Tigers cross country are already dead. Let's take this quick commercial and I will be right back.
Oh yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, Facebook, Instagram, the entire line of social media is the Booker Washington Institute National Alumni Association of North America presenting to you 2023 National Convention in Newcastle, Delaware. Hey, the Tigers weekend long reunion will begin on Friday, June 30th, and from 8 a.m. straight up to 8 p.m. will be arrival of guests, registration, and hotel accommodation. Then 7 p.m. until 12 midnight will be the Tigers night out and Queen contest. Admission will be $20 only. Saturday, July 1st will begin with a General Assembly beginning at 9:30 a.m. straight up to 3 p.m. And that will be followed by the banquet and ball. Those open at 7 p.m. Address is 24 Blaine Veins Drive in Newcastle, Delaware. Convention package for members is $150 US, and while the ordinary will pay only $50 US. And to our sweet and loving kind sponsors, we'll pay $100 only. And then comes Sunday, July 2nd, is the farewell cookout. This is when fellow Tiger gets to say goodbye to Tiger. And ladies and gentlemen, the cookout address is 156 Boyer Drive in Newark, Delaware. For more information, please contact Charles Babu 267-240-5487, Jacqueline Bush 678-410-7223, Carlo Miller 619-793-7941, Gentleman Hassan Tor 609-280-9051. Please don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this year's convention will be hosted by the Delaware Valley Chapter BWR. Come on, come on, and let's jam the weekend away.
Okay, that's the Tigers of BWR. In the meantime, the month of October 2023 is Decision Day in the West African states of the Republic of Liberia. I am Alfonso Zansot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We say good afternoon. If you're inside Liberia, then good afternoon right here. If you are in the USA, this is your 1 hour 30 minutes informative news magazine, The Liberian World Today. Subsequently, other network, we are in conversations. Will be broadcasting this year. We are still working out the technical details as to how to effectively execute this program. In the meantime, nothing going to deter or to get the ball rolling. So right here, we say thank you so much for joining us. If you are in Liberia or you are right here in the USA, we say good afternoon and good to be here. It's 12:22 Eastern Standard Time right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. I am your host and presenter, Alfonso Zansot, right here. Hopefully some of the analysts, they want to be joining us here. Notwithstanding, you are here. And so it is a greater portion of what is happening. This program will highlight major information inside Liberia, politics, agriculture, education, infrastructure, health, and all, and many of all of that's going to be part of the conversation in today's program. And as usual, I want to take a broader context in all of that. And we hope to be bringing all of players and actors into the conversation here as well. In the meanwhile, the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. We saw the decisions recently in neighboring Sierra Leone. Liberia is also knocking on the doors. A primary is being played out all over the country. The president is away. Alexander Benedict Cummings is in the USA to solidify his political base, where is Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka. What? Tiawan Gonglo also make his pick. Dr. Moniba make a pick. It is glaring now. The politics in Liberia is over the roof, and Liberians will be deciding. But is the conversation being kept and being proportional? Are we having the opportunity to hear from those who are seeking the higher office of the land? And not just only the higher office of the land, the first branch of government is also being heavily contested with primary. But more needs to be done. Well, we're going to be having all of that. And of course, we also have the document where the indictment of the former Chief Justice, former Justice Minister, one of the principal law enforcers of the country, Consular Gloria Musu Scott, is done. The conversations is off. The interpretations is different from all angles, depending who you talk to. How is this playing out? What are Liberians considering comes October in their decision making? What is the cardinal reasons they are taking a look at? We're going to be having a conversation, and of course, your views, your opinions, always matter on this network. We intend not to leave no one behind in national conversation. We're going to be putting the number out here as well to have this conversation. So whatever you have, your comments, as long as it's been said in a civil context, you are welcomed. Let's take this quick commercial, and I will be right back.
Musa Store in Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-726-2610. Address is 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia. Uncle Musa Store, a home of organic food for healthy family. Tell Uncle Musa is LPR-TV gives you this message.
Welcome everyone. This is Liberia Public Radio. We are coming to you from Uncle Musa's Grocery, one of the groceries located on Woodland Avenue. And I have here with me the proprietor, Uncle Musa, the owner of the store. Uncle Musa, please tell all about about your business entity in the Philadelphia area.
Okay, welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery. This is 6523 Woodland Avenue, zip code 19142, and we have another store on 804 Garrett Road, Upper Darby. That's all in Pennsylvania. Our grocery mostly will carry African food, palm oil, imported from Liberia in West Africa. So you're welcome here. We have a very good customer service. We have very reasonable prices, and anything you want from Liberia, trust me, you will get it from Uncle Musa Grocery. So we welcome everybody, and I promise you, you get good customer service in our stores. So choose to come in.
Okay, that's the voice of the owner of Uncle Musa's Grocery, and we want to welcome all of you. This is one of the leading African stores in Philadelphia. Trust me, we are always here, and anything that you want from Africa, you can get it right here at Uncle Musa's Grocery Store. We see you there. Don't hesitate. Don't waste time.
Okay, just bear with us here a little bit. Let's
The Booker Washington Institute National Alumni Association of North America presenting to you 2023 National Convention in Newcastle, Delaware. Hey, the Tigers weekend long reunion will begin on Friday, June 30th, and from 8 a.m. straight up to 8 p.m. will be arrival of guests, registration, and hotel accommodation. Then 7 p.m. until 12 midnight will be the Tigers night out and Queen contest. Admission will be $20 only. Saturday, July 1st will begin with a General Assembly beginning at 9:30 a.m. straight up to 3 p.m. And that will be followed by the banquet and ball. Those open at 7 p.m. Address is 24 Blaine Vines Drive in Newcastle, Delaware. Convention package for members is $150, while the ordinary will pay only $50. And to our sweet and loving kind sponsors, we'll pay $100 only. And then comes Sunday, July 2nd, is the farewell cookout. This is when fellow Tiger gets to say goodbye to a Tiger. And ladies and gentlemen, the cookout address is 156 Boyer Drive in Newark, Delaware. For more information, please contact Charles Babu 267-240-5487, Jacqueline Bush 678-410-7223. Talo Miller, 619-793-7941. Gentleman Hassan Tor, 609-280-9051. Please don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this year's convention will be hosted by the Delaware Valley Chapter BWR. Come on, come on, and let's jam the weekend away.
Good afternoon. I'm Alfonso Zayansot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV to broadcasting this afternoon from the East Coast News England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. What 101 days to decision making in the West African states of the Republic of Liberia. Primaries of various political parties is being played out. Alexander Benedict comments, where understanding is here in the USA to solidify his political base, thousands of miles away. What is the strategy? The president is out of the country in the state of Israel. Another official visit, lot unfolding. Let's bring up news here as usual. Let's keep a proportional, fair balance and give you a sense of what is happening outside of Liberia and other parts of the world. Here are other major news making headlines according to a major international cable network. France 24 UN Security Council vote to end peacekeeping missions in Mali. UK government vows to challenge court rulings on Rwanda deportation plan. Gunfire scatter prayers in Sudan. Paris court sentenced Rwanda policemen to life imprisonment for genocide. Those are some of the news making headlines. Let's have a conversation. And of course, the indictment of the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, former Minister of Justice, Councilor Gloria Musu Scott, and other conversations is raging on. We're going to be putting the number out here to have a conversation to what you make of the political exercises ongoing in Liberia. In 101 days, Liberians will ultimately decide where is the momentum being built out. What is the strategy? I have noticed since the president's return from canceling at the CIA meetings, there have been a little bit change in terms. He's not speaking. He's been more quiet, and a lot is ongoing. What is behind this here? Who is talking about it? Is the CDC finding herself very confident ahead of the 2023 the primaries, demonstrating all tendencies of democratic process? How is the opposition playing that as well? Well, by the end of September, we know we're going to be hearing and the submissions of names. Who is catching up with the time? And what is happening. I am here this afternoon. We're going to have this conversation. I will put the number out here as usual, no matter where you are. The number is also available via WhatsApp, and we will have this conversation as well as what to make of the decisions, the indictment. What do we know and what we need to know? We've been talking to experts from different sectors, and they have been providing their own analysis. One hope to appear here at some point in time. And your talk. As you know, in terms of politics, the country is heavily divided. Politicians are giving their own interpretations to the story and how it should be. But what do we need to know? You as a Liberian, it is very crucial, it is important, vital as we in this process. The judicial assistance in the country, how is it working? These are many more going to be having it. Well, so quick here, let's see here. The lines are already bossing here. Let me see here. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Okay. So quickly here, let me see here. Let me make sure here because sometimes I call you. Are you calling to participate in the show?
Yes.
Okay, quickly. All right. I just want to make sure before you go out there. Okay, good evening. This is the Liberian World Today And a caller coming from the Garden City of New Jersey.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear you today. The Liberian War today discusses a wide range of issues: politics, agriculture, education, health, infrastructure, civil society, and men and women empowerment. Let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Where's the Liberian War taking you this afternoon?
What do you mean? Where is the Liberian world taking me this afternoon?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about what specifically do you wish to talk about? Maybe other people don't.
I could talk about anything. I could talk about anything.
Exactly.
I am very well versed in everything Liberian.
Okay, I don't want to be judgmental. Perhaps I try to narrow it down here, but let's talk about
maybe I should tell you who I am.
We're going to come to that. Don't worry about that. I want to come. We're going to come to that. We're going to come to that. Okay, thank you for being here. May I know who called in and what is the most burning issues on your plate this afternoon?
I'm Dakonti Wia, CDC white woman.
CDC what?
I'm CDC white woman, Dakonti Wia.
CDC white woman. That's very interesting, my friend. Okay, CDC white woman. Good afternoon. What are you doing here? Primary is ongoing inside Liberia.
Fire.
I said the primary is going on.
I said that fire.
Say the what?
That fire.
You said that fire?
You can't hear. You can't see white people.
Oh no.
You think I'm able? You think I'm able to colloquia?
Go ahead.
I said that fire.
Not really.
You say what's he doing this side?
What I'm saying, you are limited to answer that question. So if you don't want, you can also.
My answer is a question. That fire.
Not really. I'm asking. I'm saying the momentum.
That Benesi copy.
Whatever you want, that's fine.
You don't know that one, huh?
No.
You've been inside too long. That white woman on a colloquia bass your own. Kutuku. I able French too.
Okay, let's get to the language that is most understood by all here. Okay, CDC white woman, as you call it, if you wish for me to call you. What is your take on the political process, or what do you make of what is happening overall in Liberia?
It's just the same as it's always been.
Okay.
I'm worried that the police are going to do all their yama chakla something like they always do. I know already from Tubman High School that a representative showed up there a couple of months ago promising to paint the entire school and hasn't done anything. Because I was in contact with the schools at Tubman High, the students at Tubman High School, including the president of the student council and the principal, and we were organizing to clean the school because their graduation is in August next month, and the school looks deplorable. The school looks deplorable, and Tubman High School is arguably one of the best schools in Liberia. My husband graduated from Tubman High School. You know my husband, but you obviously don't know me.
Who was that?
James Gomia.
Oh, Mr. Gomia. Tubman High is my own alma mater as well. So
well, do you know what it looks like right now?
What I was there been over a year. Everywhere is issued. So let me ask you here: are you in touch with the school authority, or who specifically are you?
I'm in touch with you mentioned Delaware. I'm in touch with Amos Turley, I think his name is.
Amos Clay Talley.
Amos
Clay Talley is the president of the
He's in Newark, Delaware.
Right.
And I'm in touch with him regularly. I'm in touch with the principal, Abraham, and I'm in touch with Charles, the president of the student council, who was also a senior.
Okay. So what is the hitch of them, madam, if you will?
The hitch of this is that I was organizing the students online. We had group chats on WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, and we were organizing to clean the walls to prepare them to paint. then all of a sudden, I don't even know the representative's name, and I wish I did because I would call him out right now on the air. But a local representative showed up unannounced in the morning with Lena, with Liberian News Agency and other reporters, and had a makeshift press conference without notifying anyone at the school, promising to paint the school. And he has done nothing, and he has, destroyed the organizations that I had done, preparing. I wanted to have the school painted and looking decent for the graduation next month. And now nothing is getting done. Abraham, the principal, called me last week and then said he was on his way home and he was going to call me back, and he never did. I've called him multiple times.
So the questions of representatives showing out and destroy whatever plans that you have in play, was that a complaint filed in by the administration? In what way his person have to derail whatever addition to
this person did what most politicians do in Liberia and the United States, to be completely, honest. Politicians take advantage of people during election time, during campaign time. They take advantage of people. In all over Liberia right now, people are getting promised rice and this and that and the other. They get promised all kinds of things just to get the people's vote. And then when the election goes through and they're voted into office, they don't do anything.
Do you see his actions appearing coinciding with what you wanted to do as a political motivation? And what do you think?
Yes, he was completely political.
What do you think is
completely political? This was free airtime. This was a free campaign commercial for his election, and had nothing to do with Tubman High School, because he has done absolutely nothing for Tubman High School as of today, July 1st.
As far as you are concerned, where do you think this political motivation is coming from?
Greed, corruption, a complete lack of compassion and concern for the actual people of Liberia.
Do you know the party this representative is from? Have you gathered any information?
I have no idea. I told you, sir, that I don't even know his name. I just know he's a representative that showed up a couple of months ago out of nowhere. Nobody knew he was coming.
Is that why you gathering? Is that why you gather from the school? The school is not aware of his showing out at the campuses.
I know that for a fact because I spoke to everyone about it.
How can we validate that? Who can we contact? Do we contact?
You can contact Abraham. Send me a message. Save my number. I'm on WhatsApp. I will give you all the information on WhatsApp.
Okay. So what specifically or is that an organization that was trying to embark on this cleaning exercises at the William V.S. Tubman High School, or is it sort of self-initiative?
Abraham, I just clicked on it. Abraham Gardor is the principal.
Yeah. How long you been coordinating with the school administration?
Just in January. I connected with them by accident. I visited Tubman High School, I think in 2002. My first visit to Liberia was 2002, and I think there was is it EULA?
EULA.
What is that? Is that the Liberian? That's the journal? No, ALJA.
Oh, ALJA, the Associations of Liberian Journalists based in the U.S. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but what is the one in Liberia called?
PUL?
I think so.
The press.
But anyway, they were having an election at that time, and just because I was there, visiting, they said that they said I was an international observer.
Oh wow.
And they had the election at Tubman High School. And I remember going there and, it looked really sad, but, they had been, already at war. This was the last year of the war. We thought it was over because, they had all the peace accords, but Taylor was president and he only had control of Monrovia at that point. And the war actually ended within a year.
So let's get to baseline here. Let me ask you: was this this exercise that, for whatever reason, was disrupted, according to you, when the representative showed, or was that the first one, or something similar has been done at the William V. Tubman High School campuses?
I don't know, because as I told you, this is my first connection, like this with Tubman High School. I had only visited there once with my husband in 2002 for that election.
Do you see this?
And the thing that struck me was the appearance of the building that long ago, 20 years ago, 21 years ago, is the same thing that I see now. Amos told me yesterday that they painted it a few years ago, but I don't see that it looks any different than it did during the war.
Do you still?
And there's a water there. People are collecting water in the yard of the high school. The bathrooms don't work. The auditorium leaks. This is deplorable conditions for these students. And a lot of these students come from remote areas and stay with relatives in order to go to the school. And they work very hard, very, very hard to complete their education at Tubman. And the administration is not doing their job. I don't even know what thing they call Ministry of Education staff, because I don't see them doing anything significant in the country. Education is not important. If our people are not educated, the country can never rebuild.
So let me
Japanese and Chinese and everybody coming in, unless we educate our children to take, the positions of authority, the businesses and everything else. We have, as far as I know, there's 90% illiteracy. Only 1 out of 10 people can read. 90%, 9 out of 10 Liberians cannot read.
So let me hold you. Hold on 1 second, madam. Let me hold you right there. What is the game plan now? It was disrupted. Is that the end of it, or what is the next strategy in place?
For Tubman High School?
Yes. What's the next strategy?
Well, I'm arguing with the I'm in constant argument. I hope he's not listening, but I'm constantly arguing with Amos.
Okay.
Because I was just talking to him yesterday, and we were fighting because he keeps telling me, oh, we're having a convention. I'm concentrating on the convention in October. I said, what about the graduation in August? Okay. And he said, oh, well, that will happen. That will happen. And I said, what's going to happen? Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. As of now, July 1st, Tubman High School looks horrible. And I don't want those students that have worked so hard to graduate. The classes are over for the seniors because they took their, what is it called? The West African, what is it called?
The West African Examination Council, WIAC, yeah.
Yes, I can't remember the name. So they took that like a week or two ago. So they're finished. My daughter, I have a daughter at Kendaja who goes to Sam Ender's school, African Dream Academy, and she is out of school too. And they haven't graduated, but school is over because they already took their exams. But I don't know when her graduation is, but I've known since January that Tubman High School's graduation was planned for August. Okay. And as of right now, today, nothing has been done to clean the walls. My father was a civil engineer. I know a lot about buildings, and for 5 years, I managed low-income housing program in Newark, New Jersey when I first got married. And so I know a lot about a lot. You know that saying, a jack of all trades?
You're a jack of all trades. Well, what we're
Yeah.
going to do, we're going to follow through with this information you are providing us. I'm going to reach to the President Amos Clay Talit and even with the school administration with respect to that. But are you still trying to get that exercise ongoing, correct?
Look, at this point, I am available. I am completely available, and I started, the process, but I am not, one of these white saviors that come in. I'm not one of these missionaries or NGOs or anything like that. If I work with people in Liberia, which I consider my country, I'm Mono and Gio, as well as crew, but I'm not going to come in and just take over and tell people what to do. That's not my school. It was my husband's school. It's in my country, but it's not my school. I am not going to do the hard work that needs to be done. It needs to be done by the students. It's their school. So I was trying diligently to organize the students, to clean the walls, and then I wanted to get donations from, like, what is that one that looks like Home Depot, City Builders?
City building, city PS.
Yeah, I wanted to get donations from city builders and other hardware stores and stores especially in the community of Tubman High School and throughout Monrovia. I wanted to get donations on the ground in Liberia because this is their country, their city, their school, their children. So I wanted to start there, but then I'm butting heads with Amos because
Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave it there. You cannot fight multiple fronts. That's what I can say. The leadership here, what best is to coordinate.
My name is Deconti.
Deconti,
There's
yeah.
a
So what I'm
time for
saying,
everything, and I know what I'm doing.
all right. So first of all, I want to commend you of taking such an initiative. We are willing here at LPR to also work to make sure that Tubman is my own school, and not just only Tubman.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that you were a cardinal.
I am. Oh man, you are grounded into that. So what we're going to do, I want to coordinate with you. I want to reach out to President Clay Tade. We're going to reach out to the administrations in Liberia to see what the deal is and what can be. That should not deter you.
I have the numbers. I have the numbers of the principal and the president of the student council.
All right, I will get to you off air and we can have that conversation. Thank you so much.
Are you cutting me off?
No, I have to move on to next subject matter. That's what.
But I can talk about anything.
What you want to talk about?
You want to talk about my brother?
Your who?
My brother.
We're talking a national thing. Those are personal thing. I don't think that will really.
My name is Deconti Wea.
Okay, so let's move on to the next thing, and I will talk to you. Okay, well, folks. Well, so we gotta be tolerant. We gotta be patient here, but I am not hope to discuss people personal issues. Those issues can be talked of at, and I don't think I have the. Well, that's information we have to verify. But let me see here what Chief Angle or head of the Liberia Public Radio in Liberia. Yvonne, good evening. Good afternoon. Yeah, that's the beauty of this network here. This is what we're hearing. Mike Dye is the head of the Liberia Public Radio team, is reporting in Liberia. Hopefully, Mike, if you can maybe able to get in here. Mosorado District Number 2 Representative James Smith has suspended his membership with the CDC just few hours to the primary result in the district. Mike, I'm not sure what are the details that if you can call us here to let us know why at this time that he's suspending, what are the circumstances surrounding this, to let us know. We'll be glad as well. The number is still out. If you are following us, the number is available to via WhatsApp, 682-433-8802. And you can have your say right here as well. But this is what we are hearing now. Mosorado County District Number 2 Representative Jimmy Smith has just suspended his membership with the CDC just few hours to the primary in the district. We do not know the details of his his action, why he's suspending, what prompted this decision. Hopefully, we're going to be following all of that development. We do know primaries ongoing in other places. Our own Harrison Momo City of my own district, Basin district, we are hearing is on top on the CDC ticket for Basin district. My understanding, he's currently en route to Morovia, and we will be contacting him as well. So there we want to welcome our sister group, the Big FM inside Liberia. We're still working out the technical details as to how this program can also be coordinated as well. So a lot is ongoing. Where other primaries are taking place? Why is Smith suspending his membership as well? Why at such a time? And what is the status of this of it? But that's the politics, and that's exactly why it is. The number is still out here, 682-433-8802. That's the number to call as what. We know that Alexander Benedict Cummings, the CPP, he's currently in Philadelphia, according to a report coming in. They are hosting the big event, be a fundraiser, conventions, whatever it is. We try reaching out to them. But we just didn't get the pass to do what we're supposed to do. And we hope not to, in as much we are a media institution, so you have to get consent in this coverage. And they must also agree to make our presence felt, but that did not materialize, which is okay. But we will be monitoring what is happening in that. Notwithstanding, the Tigers of BWR will be hosting the big 40th annual convention in Newcastle, Delaware. Right within the proximity of Philly. Philly is just a little bit 30 minutes away. And so our understanding, the ground there is already tense. The Tigers are there. Let's take this quick commercial, and I'm going to be right back.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Facebook, Instagram, the entire line of social media is the Booker Washington Institute National Alumni Association of North America presenting to you 2023 National Convention in Newcastle, Delaware. Hey, the Tigers weekend long reunion will begin on Friday, June 30th, and from 8 a.m. straight up to 8 p.m. will be arrival of guests, registration, and hotel accommodation. Then 7 p.m. until 12 midnight will be the Tigers night out and Queen contest. Admission will be $20 only. Saturday, July 1st will begin with a General Assembly beginning at 9:30 a.m. straight up to 3 p.m. And that will be followed by the banquet and ball. Those open at 7 p.m. Address is 24 Blaine Vines Drive in Newcastle, Delaware. Convention package for members is $150, while the ordinary will pay only $50. And to our sweet and loving kind sponsors, we'll pay $100 only. And then comes Sunday, July 2nd, is the farewell cookout. This is when fellow Tiger gets to say goodbye to a Tiger. And ladies and gentlemen, the cookout address is 156 Boyer Drive in Newark, Delaware. For more information, please contact Charles Babu 267-240-5487, Jacqueline Bouge 678-410-7223, Tarlo Miller 619-793-7941, Gentleman Hassan Tor 609-280-9051. Please don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this year's convention will be hosted by the Delaware Valley Chapter BWR. Come on, and let's jam the weekend away.
Okay, that's the Tigers of BWR. They will be having an annual convention. As a matter of fact, Liberia Public Radio, national correspondent Mazola Gisi based in PA, Pennsylvanians will be there today to bring you the live coverage. We are hearing it's going to be a colorful event. As a matter of fact, when the Tigers meet too, it can be a colorful one. That's the 40th annual. We hosted the organizer here recently, and it is glaring that diasporan Liberians, organizations, county institutions are making significant impact. But the narrative being created inside Liberia by politicians and other interest groups has painted the diaspora as if they are not doing anything. And they are individuals who are also embarked on other community initiative. That seems not to be the case. We saw that recently in a conversation. And when you visit the BWR official website, you will see exactly what they are doing as well. It is concrete, not abstract. The informations are there. It's pretty glaring that you can get a sense of many organizations impacting, involving in the economic, social development, reconstructions of buildings of Liberia. So we must mention that as well. Let the people know that the diaspora community are also involved. What the politics seems to be the dominant issue in the country. So you can also have your say here if you're in Liberia and you know exactly how the process is being played out, your thought as well. So what is it like? What is Liberian decisions? Where is this whole ball being driven? Who is in the lead or who is comfortably positioned for the biggest part comes October, when decisions will be made in Liberia? The ruling establishment, CDC, the opposition to Unity Party, the CPP, the LPP of Councillor Tiawon Gongo, and lieutenant of Dr. Moniba. They are all make their pick, so it is glaring that the field is already crowded. Who's going to get to the finishing line? Mike, I'm not sure whether you are properly situated. I really want to know exactly the decisions of this representative who's suspending his membership. What prompted that? If you can provide all the little details of that, that will also be okay. It will help us in the process. But why the other parties, oppositions, why primary processes is not going on throughout the country? Where is that coming from? What is responsible for that? It is important that we have this conversation. We need to know. The first branch of government is very crucial into the process as well because they provide check and balances on the executive branch. So 73 seats at stake. We need to know who these people, who they are, what they represent, what are they taking to, on Capitol Hill for that matter. Where would they vote? It says unusual politics or their party, or they will represent the interests of the constituents or the constituents that elect them. They are not appointed positions. That you know, that we know. So we need to know exactly what they represent. Been seeing a lot of images of primaries ongoing in the country. Some are releasing their results and others are jubilating. Is that the end of it? We need to know exactly who they are and what are they bringing to the table. Would there be some primaries as well with the opposition to Unity, the CPP, the LPP, and landlords of Dr. Clarence Monoba? This is all important. Everybody should be able to exercise their democratic rights. Whether you are incumbent, everybody should participate in the process, and that's how it should be. So the number is there, 682-433-8802. Your thought of the entire process, how it been played out. There's a narrative of there by other supporter to pro-GOL supporter that whatever happens in Sierra Leone will be perfected in Liberia. I don't know how that is, but they have their own interpretations and argument. And of course, it is obvious. Also bear in mind, during the 147th independence of the United States, usually the embassy celebrates hard a week ahead before the actual date. The ambassador there giving kudos or praising the government and outlining the government's achievements. That's huge, that's significant. Can the ruling establishment bank on that momentum to make a political argument to the electors, or is it a different thing other than what we are hearing? All of these are so much important, so consequential that we need to know exactly what is happening inside Liberia. 101 days to go for decision making in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. I was glad I said this. Let me see here. Let me take this break. I'm getting some call here. Let me see what is happening. Let's go to Uncle Musa here.
Get all your needs.
Bear with me, folks.
Welcome to Uncle Musa's store in Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-726-2610. Address is 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia. Uncle Musa's store, a home of organic food for healthy family. Tell Uncle Musa his LPR-TV gives you this message.
Welcome everyone. This is Liberia Public Radio. We are coming to you from Uncle Musa's grocery, one of the groceries located on Woodland Avenue. And I have here with me the proprietor, Uncle Musa, the owner of the store. Uncle Musa, please tell us about about your business entity in the Philadelphia area.
Okay, welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery. This is 6523 Woodland Avenue, zip code 19142, and we have another store on 804 Garrett Road, Upper Darby. That's all in Pennsylvania. Our grocery mostly will carry African food, palm oil, imported from Liberia and West Africa. So you're welcome here. We have a very good customer service. We have very reasonable prices, and anything you want from Liberia, trust me, you will get it from Uncle Musa Grocery. So we welcome everybody, and I promise you get good customer service in our stores. So choose to come in.
Okay, that's the voice of the owner of Uncle Musa's Grocery, and we want to welcome all of you. This is one of the leading African stores in Philadelphia. Trust me, we are always here, and anything that you want from Africa, you can get it right here at Uncle Musa's Grocery Store. We see you there.
Welcome to Fiber Queen of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for nice African for wedding, whatever fiber you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She have really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then they're going to be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashobi hand ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fiber Queen on 6695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome, 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 welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high-quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products that will make you shine like the queen of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodland Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrics Queens in Philadelphia is easy and salt of the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Aquaba.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Wood. We are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dry fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have deeper, we have fufu, we have the refrigeration center, then we also have cosmetics. This is a place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach to Uncle Musa's Groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. It's the only store, a grocery store, that deals with African stuff. Anything African things you can get in Uncle Musa's store. I am from Igbo in Nigeria. So, ndị Igbo dum, onye ọbụla wụ onye Igbo, ya bịara na Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. Anything we hear, anything need.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The business will have a business on grocery store, or African food, all West African food. From Liberia, mostly Liberian food. And we'll have a palm oil imported from Liberia. And we'll have a very good customer service. And if your customer buy from Uncle Musa Grocery, you get bonus. Certain times. And things are very reasonable. Good palm oil. Anything you want from Africa, West Africa, you can get it from Uncle Musa Grocery. We do retail and wholesale. So you can visit our store in Philadelphia. We have one on 6523 Woodland Avenue, and another one is a clothing store on 6519 and Woodland Avenue. And we'll have another one on Abu Gary Road. So you're welcome for shopping. Everything is nice. Customer service perfect. So that's it.
Okay. All right, that's Uncle Musa is one of our major sponsors out there. We really want to thank him so much for all of the time that he has, the sponsorship he has provided from with us here on this network. It's just so amazing, and so we want to thank him so much for believing in us. And for those of you that have businesses, be it here or inside Liberia, it doesn't matter. We are unlimited as long as you have access to internet. We don't necessarily need to come. There are things that we can do and work out those technical details. And trust me, we will make it happen as you want it to be. So if you have a business, if you have an event you want us to form part of it, just let us know. And we can definitely do that to give you that courage. Like what the Booker Washington Institute Illuminati Association, they are here, and our guy going to be there today to bring you live coverage event. So be it here or inside Liberia, to graduation, to wedding, to reunion, baby shower, any memorable event, let us know. We can work it. When there's no way, we will find our way out. That's what we are here at LPR. We intend not to leave no one behind into this process. That's very, very, very much vital. And remember, you want to keep those memorable days remembered forever. And once we do that, we will get you right on as well. I'm not sure why they keep through calling here. So yeah, so just advertise. You have a business here inside Liberia, to right here, advertise with us, and we would provide you the services. In as much we need your financial assistance, we feel that we must also provide. We have services that we have a service that we can provide. So let us know. It can be done so many ways with the network that we are also partnering with. It can also be heard in Liberia. In the event you have a business inside Liberia and you want it to be heard or people to know about it, we can all work out that information. Okay. Having said that, so let's make progress. As we told you, the start of the program is 1 hour 30 minutes. Time is gradually eating away. We hope to be doing that, but I soon we get all of the technical details, everything to resolve. There was a planned guest today, but because of technical details, we decided to table that in. But we will, in subsequent broadcasts, we're going to be having folks here, and even if they are not here, the regular analysts of the Liberia Public Radio, as you know, they're here to represent at their own volitions, not the political parties, but their views, their opinions, their analysis on critical issues, always here to help us to decide and know what is going on inside Liberia. They are always here, the liberal progressive. We have Sister Goya from who support the candidacy of Councilor Tiawan Gongo. You have Amos George, of course, CPP slide or ANC, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. You have Liberal here who support Ambassador Boyka. And then Wilton Keto here is a strong supporter of the ruling establishment. That's the CDC. You have Dr. George Toto Koto Jalabalayant for Unity Party. So there's a huge representation here of folks, and that's the beauty of this network. And of course, you, the listeners, the viewer, your points, your arguments also matters here. We don't sanction voices as long as being expressed in a civil context. We always like to do that as well. So feel free, as long you will work within the confines of our own rules here. We have our own rules that govern us here in terms of how we get things done. Do not cross our rail line. And that rail line is just basic rule. To be civil, you can disagree with me. You can bring out any judgment. You can challenge my commentary as well. And before I go off here, something happened here yesterday. Let us come here. I make note to myself. Let me just go to that, and for us to be able to get that corrected. We were in a conversation yesterday, and one of our analysts, while we were talking about this U.S. ambassador, and then it came into lobbyists, people who speak or who go out there to solicit to talk for government, and we're one of the analysts here. It is against the law here, and we need to come back here to rectify that, because those are felony crime here. Those crimes, if you remember, you follow the history of Michael Flynn, who was the national security advisor to the president, then President Donald Trump, was lobbying with the Russians. That's a serious crime. So you can't be a sitting senator. We reported here, one of the analysts said here that Ted Cruz, so that was incorrect. Ted Cruz is not a lobbyist. You cannot be as elected official of the U.S. government. What happens was the lobbyists, the same lobbyists that Helen Johnson Sirleaf, 5 of them, those are the same people that the CDC government decided to do business with. That is it's a legal thing. As long as you go through the process, you have like Al Jazeera to representative. You have all of these major cable news network. They are lobbyists, they are agents, because what they do, they transmit international news outside of U.S. So what happened was Barbara Sellers, who is a commentator to the CNN's cable news network, he's one of the lobbyists that has worked for the government. What he decided, what they did was to go and meet some of the leadership, the hardliners with the Republicans in the Senate, because what we're trying to do is to have the president to visit here. And that's exactly what they did. So what they did was they met Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, and other leaders within the Senate of the Republican side in order for the president to visit. That is not illegal. But reported that Ted Cruz was a lobbyist. So Ted Cruz is not. That is a serious, there's a serious crime. If you are an elected person, you cannot be an elected official at the same time to be a lobbyist. What they were doing, they were soliciting. I support the lobbyists, the sellers, and other folks that are working in the interest of the government. That is to allow the president to come here to make arrangement. All of these things, it's a long, detailed things that you have to work out to get that sort of gateway and to get recognition, to potentially to get help. So it's important that we too here, if we throw information out there that is inaccurate, we must be able to come back to also make that crystal clear. And this is why we intend. We decided to do that. So we are retracting that statement here. We take full responsibility of that statement to say Senator Ted Cruz is not. He's not a lobbyist. The delegate, the lobbyists, what did they decide? Because Cruz and they're the Highlanders for the Republican side. And there are certain people, you got to go through them in order to get something done. That was the case. Meeting Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, and other folks within high-ranking leaders within the Republican Senate, meeting that to pave the way so that the president can come here. It's not an illegal one. But he is not. Like we reported that he was, so he's not. So we want to make sure to get that straightened as well. So it's important that we just bring that information to you guys so that we can settle it once and for all. And it's not an illegal thing, but you can be a sitting lawmaker at the same time. That was what you saw Michael Flynn. Because he was a national security advisor. You can be in those positions and be in multiple places. That's a conflict of interest. There's a felony crime here by the Fed. So if you do that, trust me, you're going to get yourself in a big time jail. So, but you can meet those people. You can push the agenda, whoever interested that you're representing. And they in turn, because they are connected with the higher of the president, or the relevant authority to push your agenda. So actually those sellers and those people were also lobbying for Helen Johnson's salute. And so who knows, government is continuity. And they say, hey, these guys been working for us. It's everywhere. And that's the system. That's how it works in the country here. You have to get people who to push your agenda. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you are corrupt. That's not it. But that's the division of labor. They have people in different places, different positions that are there to get certain things done. They are connected with the higher up, with the party, with the leadership. So that was the case. So the president, continues with those people that were working with Helen Johnson Sally. One could easily guess, well, these people have been working, they've been doing good jobs, so why not? You need to get connected with Congress here and the Senate as well. So that was the situation. So Ted Cruz is not a lobbyist, but it happens that those lobbyists met with him, with Graham and other folks within the Senate leadership in order and to facilitate or kind of sort of speed out, make a way for the president of the Republic of Liberia to, have an audience with the president. So that was not end violation, but it's important that we come back. If we put that information out wrongly, it's wrong. We need to come back to have that fixed, because the network set to can be held liable. People listen to these things, to go back, to play them, and when you as a facilitator or analyst throw out some information that is not correct, and you knowing that if you realize that it's not correct, you need to come back on the same outlet to also admit what you put out was inaccurate, it was an oversight, or maybe the conversation was tense, whatever it is, but it's the best is to come and do the damage control and fix it up. Okay, so let's end the chapter on that. Primary results. It's quite interesting though to see what is unfolding inside Liberia. So why is this? Is this sort of the process here, what is the ruling establishment trying to push here? Is this that they are having the momentum to why it is all about? Because for the most part, you see the CDC, they're having these primaries ongoing, and I believe it's in compliance because for September, you have to get the submissions of your candidates, and you have to get that in time with NEC, with the National Election Commission. So I hope all the other parties, they are observing that and let people be able to challenge. There are folks within the party. Let people be able to exercise those democratic principles, those tendencies, so that we will live within the confines of what we want to do. We can be preaching one thing, on the other hand, we're doing different things. So hopefully, all other political parties, what we can argue or how those things being played out, that's a different thing. That's a different conversation for itself. But we must first of all encourage political parties to encourage these participations of all. You do not have to be connected with the higher up and to say, oh, okay, we have this here. But it also is at it's the decisions of the party, and it's even stand a barrier to say, hey, this candidate, we are satisfied with this candidate. And if anybody doesn't like it, you want to go, that's it. Sometimes these presidents or these leaders, they make those sort of critical decisions that people will not usually go with it. But at the same time, it's good that you allow people to partake and participate in those in order to put to rest the apprehensions. You do not want to undercut the exercise itself. So it is very much vital. It is very, very much important that all should participate into the process. And we are hoping to see that. We are keeping eyes what is happening here, the next neighborhood in Philadelphia, as ANC Designer Benedict Cummings, fixer 1, fixer 2. I'm not sure whether she's here, but we are hearing they are both should be at that function. What's going to be happening and what next? Because the process now 101 days to go, it's almost time. We were just talking about months, years, the last time around. Here we are now, 101 days to go in the decision making. Where do we stand as a country, as a people, and as a nation in terms of the decision for October? Who is really cutting through the corridor to get to the finishing line? That is a difficult question to answer, depending on who you talk to. Everybody found themselves to be in a comfortable lead, and that would be the argument. Nobody going to go into a race with the intent to say, I'm going there to lose. That's not going to happen. Even if they did, they will also still put an argument that we are aware of. But what is the mindset of Liberians ahead of October? What are they considering? Are they hearing enough from their leaders, from those contesting for the higher office of the land? And what about those who are seeking for the first branch of government? Our own Madison Gwinnett has returned home, gone back to CDC. That is quite interesting. That is uncertainty in politics in today's contemporary world. So you can't put a gridlock, you can't put a hook on anything to say, oh, that's the end of it. No, you never know. Politics is all about interest based. Where they find their survival, that's where they're going to go to. If they look every other place and where they see they're going to be a commentator, where they're going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, that's where they're going to go to. Yesterday, he was very forceful against the ruling establishment. Initially, fair to mention, initially, he has been. But who knows, there were some political differences left the party. But he's returning. And part of that is politicians always look ahead to see what is there for them. So no politicians or some politician wants to go into a race and create an avenue of his or her own defeat. Then you are not a politician. Then you are not a politician. It doesn't matter what we say. We will frown on that. People are going to talk on that. But they are very strategic in making this decision. And that's exactly what is playing out there. But what we do know, they will be contesting. We'll wait and see exactly how that happens and what will become of him at the end of the day. Remember, he continues the term of now Senator Zoe Emmanuel Panel, that was in the primary, special election, if you will call it special election. So that term he ended the term of Zoe Emmanuel Panel, who became senator for Grand Gate County. Meaning this 2023, that seat is going to be contested for it. And he is contesting. He is contesting. He's on the ticket, but he has gone back to his party, CDC. So that is quite interesting. And we will be monitoring all of those news, all of those information, because we need to know exactly what is happening. And we hope there will be a provision where there must be some sort of debate. This is where the advocates and pro-democratic groups in Liberia should come in to organize, should begin planning, so that we know exactly what these people to represent, their agenda, their vision for the country. After electing them, you don't want to tell them, they need to tell us now exactly what they are bringing. It's important. Are you going to elect someone as a representative, as a senator who can travel? Those are the people that brings job, talk to people. It's not a China with America. That's the lawmakers. But the Chinese, the district with the executive. Unless you say you want to be a senator to sanction you and you're not coming to America, and that's the trouble. Despite of all of the rock and roll between America and China, there is still a bilateral relationship. So if you are not in right standing with Uncle Sam, the probability of you being nailed, regardless of going to China, because guess what? America has entangled, is involved in a global world, businesses and partners with other people, with organizations, with war donors and all of that. As long as they have issue with you, they will not allow that dollar to leave, because at the end of the day, you see, like they use different organizations, non-for-profit organizations, but the subsidies come from national government and it is taxpayer. So if they have issue with you, there is a way you can get away with it in your country, but there is a way they can put a hook on you, because the probability you might not travel. And so what that means, not just only for your constituent, for the country, you may not have a good leadership role in the Senate, because it requires you to travel, go into the European Union. You know how influential Uncle Sam is when it comes to the European Union. So it is a sort of octopus scenario. If you escape from this side, one side here, you don't necessarily going to escape from the other side, because every dollar series is being monitored by Fed. They know exactly where it is, where it's going, and whose hand you're going to be going to. This is why they monitor those things here. That is why it's important. The people that want to be elected, those are people that want to leave the country. It is not their job. Some of them, it is either humanitarian or because it's a tradition that we are accepted for them to do these things here. No, that's not their job to do. They need to get out, to find a way out. Organizations, war organizations, philanthropic organizations, and take them for a tour to assess and see how they can invest. So it is important, people that you are electing, their credibility, their character, their rightful standing with the international community. Uncle Sam, for example, that is very vital. And that's what they do here. Here, it is the Senate, the representative there. But like for China, they deal with the executive branch. But you, for America, that's a different thing. That's a different ball again. You, the senator, you come here, you can go to local state, you can go to big organization, and I have a conversation with them, and they will deal with that. But unlike China, the deal was strictly with the executive branch. Unless you want to elect somebody who will not get out of our fee and just only leave Moravia and go to their constituent, and maybe China, that is okay. But even at that, it's not guaranteed. Because if there's a sanction, for example, and they can, for whatever reason, they see that there's some violation in the making, the traveling could be blocked. That is an easy thing. Sanction is a little help on there are a lot of things they can regulate. and they can tighten it to the extent if those violations continue. And so we must be aware, people that we are electing, it's not just because of today. Yes, you can get away with today, but when tomorrow comes, it can be another hook in the neck, and you do not want that. So we need to have these conversations, thereby to create an eye-opening scenario for our people. Don't just say it is good for you, then it's good for the country. And just electing people from your constituent for your county, that's just not auto it, because you want them to shine. You want them to represent your country. You want them to go out there to find agriculture, folks in the agriculture industry who will come in the country from different parts of the world. What happens if you are sanctioned and you can't travel? And Uncle Sam is involved. Most of these people here, they invest into them. They have organizations that they do business with, give those people do donation, and in turn they stand as a middle person. And so as long as you have issue with them, trust me, down the road you will still be nailed. That's the danger with it. You get away here, it does not necessarily mean you're going to get away at the end of the day. So we need to have this conversation, open conversation with people, to let them know as well. Making political choice, the decision, there's a long term, there's a short term, and there are consequences involved. You do it today, you get away with it, but tomorrow you might not get away. Okay, that's our man, Cesar Goyot. He's on the campaign trail. He supports the guy, I believe, testing for a city council positions, or either something that he's the campaign manager. So, okay, that's honest. It's understandable. We hope to have the brother there is a librarian, and that's why it's good. We need to have librarians to get involved in the politics. This is how you navigate through the system. We complain that the Hispanic here, there, and there. Yes, because they are involved in the process, whether at the local or fair or national level. Because when you do that, you find yourself at the head of the table, and that's how you can push your agenda. So we need as many competent and qualified librarians to be city council representative, and even as far as contest for national leadership, as far as the senators, whatever it is, start from your local, local state representative. We have our own Nathan Bia here. He was the president of the librarian community. I remember conducted an election. He was the president of the librarian community, and within the school system. That's why it is good to volunteer to give back. It is good here, and we've got to make it into practice in our own country as well to give. But when you look at the lifestyle, how difficult it is. How can somebody leave their house all day and say, "Oh, I'm just going to volunteer," when they have a family at the end of the day, you're going to go home? So it's a very difficult one here. But we have to encourage people, especially those that are here, get involved. When election comes, volunteer your services. You can be doing robocall for council member, to representative, governors, and all of that. We shouldn't be doing devils when election comes, or you just want to vote. Yeah, you can just vote, but you want to be part of the system. You want to be recognized. You want to be accommodated into the system. And that's exactly these Hispanic people are doing. This is why everywhere you go, because nobody going to do market web bamboo draw in our library parlor, because you can't expect somebody who volunteer his or herself, calling, knocking doors, giving flyers, telling somebody, and at the end of the day, you think they're going to leave them out? No, they don't want to do that. You know that. I know it. And that is why it's so much important. It's 1:37 Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully in the subsequent edition, we're seeing the race now. We see now it's world crowded. I put away everybody tie a ticket in tight, their running mate, which is also good. But now we need to have a conversation, probably to debate. I'm not sure whether they are making a preparation or a group of other advocacy group organizing. But the media industry is so polarized. So who will honor and who will not honor? Does it mean something? And that's what we need to find a way to do. And that's how people make decisions in this country on issues. It's not just having a show and people call in when Mr. A and Mr. B vote today, who's going to win? It's insufficient. You're not educating the voters. You're not educating the electorates. Probably we must do a survey. We must do talk to librarians to see what matters to them. What are they considering? What is a cardinal reason in terms of making their political choice? The president, especially. What are they considering now? What is the priority number one of Liberia? Who is projecting that? Who is talking about that? Once we begin to do that, to lead the way through, electors will be able to make an informed decision. And that is very, very, very crucial. And we hope we will continue this path. Other network will continue that path that we cannot guarantee. But there's a need. We can't just make the electorate so vulnerable without giving them some sort of roadmap in making their political choices. And the people should just not, why it is true, that's what I'm doing is, oh, I'm for this party, so I can vote for this party. There are people who cross party line. You can be a Democrat, you can be a Republican in a state, but based on your agenda, your vision, people cross party lines and they go and vote based on what that person going to do and what they plan to do. They present it to you locally, you read it, and you can hold them to that. Is that what happening, or just some experience or candidate can, I will do this without anything written in black and white? How can you hold that person? Or is just a beauty pageant or popularity contest that we're going to be having again? We let people and then come back at the end of the day and begin to question our own decisions, knowing what you know. Well, you knew it, but you on purpose decided not to ask. So it is the right time now to ask all of those people that are contesting to what they are bringing to the table, what they want to do. We can elect them. I want to see people in the first branch of government, despite of their political affiliation, but they must be able to sit and have a conversation with any other party that they are, the opponent. Because it's a teamwork. You must have these national conversations. It's very, very, very much vital. We see it here in as much the Republicans and some member, but they say they have a conversation, and they must able, the oppositions and the government itself must be able to open up where you can provide, invite some hardliners within the opposition, and you can sit with the president and cut deal. The establishment must be open to that. The opposition must be willing to make those political sacrifices. Someone being on the other side of the aisle does not mean you guys are enemy. No, that's not the case. They just have their own political ideology that they believe in of their party. They can do it much better than your person. But now, if you all are elected and you all in the same bidding, you must be able to have that national conversation. The interest of the country must come first, not necessarily your party, because these political parties will fade away, but the country called Republic of Liberia has been there and it will continue to be there even after your 9 or 18 years. Before you were born, there were other people that occupied those positions. Some of those parties are no longer in existence, but guess what? The country still remains. And this is why we need to have people with political tolerance. Not every little thing gets under your skin and you have temperament issue. You now want to listen to people. People should only listen to you. That's not how you build society. We are looking for politicians who are willing to take the political risk, even if it will cost them. We saw what the late Senator John McCain did when he gives the thumbs down. Not that he was a Republican leader, party leader, contested, but yet he voted against the party because he strongly believes his constituents, and that was the right decisions he was making for his country. Those are the politicians that we are looking for, who they say, yes, I'm a die-hard citizens. Yes, I'm a die-hard United Partisan. The blood runs in my vein. Yes, I'm a die-hard CPPP. But I'm making these political decisions for the good of the country. Those are the politicians that we are looking for. Now, the sycophants and everything their leaders, even if their leader not doing it the right way, is yes. Learn to raise your finger and add your point. What time has caught up with us is 1:45 here. Hopefully, till next Saturday, we're going to be here with more programming, and hopefully, by then, those technical issues going to be worked out, and we will have, I guess, and some of the analysts going to be here. In the meanwhile, don't forget, Newcastle, Delaware is the place to beat tonight. The Tigers of BWI, homecoming, 40th homecoming anniversary in Newcastle, Delaware.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Facebook, Instagram, the entire line of social media is the Booker Washington Institute National Alumni Association of North America presenting to you 2023 National Convention in Newcastle, Delaware. Hey, the Tigers weekend long reunion will begin on Friday, June 30th, and from 8 a.m. straight up to 8 p.m. will be arrival of guests, registration, and hotel accommodation. Then 7 p.m. until 12 midnight will be the Tigers night out and Queen contest. Admission will be $20 only. Saturday, July 1st will begin with a General Assembly beginning at 9:30 a.m. straight up to 3 p.m. And that will be followed by the banquet and ball. Those open at 7 p.m. Address is 24 Blaine Vines Drive in Newcastle, Delaware. Convention package for members is $150, and while the ordinary will pay only $50. And to our sweet and loving kind sponsors, we'll pay $100 only. And then comes Sunday, July 2nd, is the farewell cookout. This is when fellow Tiger gets to say goodbye to a Tiger. And ladies and gentlemen, the cookout address is 156 Boyer Drive in Newark, Delaware. For more information, please contact Charles Babu 267-240-5487, Jacqueline Bush 678-410-7223, Carlo Miller 619-793-7941, Gentleman Hassan Tor 609-280-9051. Please don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this year's convention will be hosted by the Delaware Valley Chapter BWR. Come on, and let's jam the weekend away.
All right, that's a jam the weekend away in Newcastle, Delaware, next within the proximity of Joe Biden. And that's the Tigers of BWR going to beat on their heels tonight. I learned all the weave in Philadelphia and Delaware area all gone now. The red, the green, and all of that. Eyelashes all gone, fingernails all gone because the Tigers are there. Well, folks, that's how we're going to leave here this afternoon. Is 1:47 Eastern Standard Time right here in the East Coast. And it was a little after 5 p.m. in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. The race for the higher office of the land is on Decision Day. We'll keep track, keep monitoring what is happening. Folks, we want to thank you so much for your time this afternoon. By God's willing, same time, same station. I will be right here, hopefully at that time to be sandwiched by our analysts and special guests. Everybody feeling making their pick. I thought right now there's no vacancy for vice presidency, so I will leave my own with God. Maybe 2029, or who knows? It's never late. I can find one, and we can go. Everybody wants to be in the mansion because that's where they want to be. That's where the Powerball position. That's the Powerball position. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant days. And let's continue praying for our country, as the nation is about to make a consequential decision for the future of the country. Remember, you are about to give folks a power of Antoinette to make decision for you, whether you voted for them or against them. Some are going for 6 years, some are going for 9 years. So we need to backtrack a little bit. You've been there for 9 years. Let's open the mirror. Let's create a conversation. Should I give you another 9 years? How old is my daughter now? Where would I be? Those are the things we want to be asking. Do not mind these talking heads that are talking for all of these people. These people, they were part of, some of them were part of the system as well. And that's the hypocrisy in it. When they are in the system, everything is peanut butter and jelly. No problem with the system. They will never stay in the system and front on the system. And that's what I was saying. Liberian politicians, African politicians in general, are unwilling to take political risk. They would never resign to say, this is what happened and this is what wrong with the system. But when they get off or when they kick them out because of whatever reason, disagreement, then they tend to turn to a wild geese. I don't believe in those people. I don't trust them. Because you protected and defended the system when you were part of it. For some reason, political device kick in. And you think you want to be the new crusader, you're now converted, and now you're saying the ugly thing. No, that's been disingenuous. When you're in a system, stay in the system. When the system is going right, help to fix the system. When you do all and all else fail, then you take the bull by the horn. Get out of the system. If you know the system is not working for the people, but you dine with the system, you hook up with the systems, you enjoy the system, and down the road, somebody have a punched tire, and there's no mechanic to move that tire, no into nothing there, and then you want to come back to tell us. Some of us found it very difficult to believe you, to know that you are authentic, and that's how it works. Have a pleasant evening. By God willing, same time, same station. We'll be back here with more programming. Stay safe and happy weekend. Bye-bye. Government, it did not meet your core values?
I resign. Before I resign, I issue a 13-page press statement. It's on the internet. If you check, you'll find it. And then the president subsequently called me back into government because at that time, she had sent all the cabinet ministers home for 2 weeks compulsory leave. I was one of those that she called back. And I said, no, I'm not coming back into your government because what I believe you will do is not what you are doing. This country went into civil conflict and over 300,000 people were killed because of bad governance. And I see the same thing
happening,
being done by you. The same thing is happening.
That's why you told the president?
Yes, in a conversation with her. And I said, thank you, but I'm not coming back to the government. Anything good in Liberia. Louis Brown was National Security Advisor to Charles Taylor, man. That was the time I was tortured.
This seems to me ANC now.
Let them be redeeming themselves. They laid the foundation for the suffering that is happening today. No. It's not in good faith. Isn't it the same Louis Brown who said to President Salif, Kennedy president, that no one since 1847 has so desecrated the executive mansion equal to President Kennedy, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. It was not even a month after he was appointed to be Minister of Information for that same President Sirleaf. And he was propagating everything. When he was asked by the journalist, he said, you know, when you are far from President Sirleaf, you see a bad woman. When you come close to her, you see a good person. That sounded very opportunistic to me.
For being here, and especially in these difficult times, I thank the Liberian people for their kind attention. All over this country, in every village and town, across every region and community, from mosques to churches, from markets to schools, from prisons to hospitals, across all political parties, ministries, agencies, and institutions of the government, no Liberian needs me to tell them that things are bad and only getting worse. Sadly, President Weah and few of his officials who are overseeing and benefiting from the downfall of our country either do not understand this or simply do not care.